Supervision Guidelines. So those of you who are working in New South Wales as property agents, you are going to, you may well be aware, you should be aware that the Supervision Guidelines were updated as of the 23rd of March 2023. So, just almost a month ago now. So, it's time to actually look at what your Supervision Guidelines state within your office. Now, every single agency should have a manual that addresses the 10 requirements of the Supervision Guidelines. So that's really, really important. And now, whilst they're not major changes within the Supervision Guidelines, you certainly need to address them. And, when it comes down to it, the first change, I'll just go through the couple of major changes here that you would need to be updating in your Supervision Guidelines. The first one comes down to when you're withholding funds at the end of the month, or just after that, you actually want to look at one of the rules of conduct has changed. In 2020, we received 3 new additional rules of conduct, and one of those rules directly related to rental income being paid monthly to a landlord. That used to be rule number 20. It's now rule number 19 because they've worked through and consolidated some of the other rules. So that's something within your Supervision Guidelines that you would need to change and reflect that it's actually Rule 19 that we're referring to now when you have your policies and your practices in place to meet the Supervision Guideline around your trust account disbursements. So making sure that you're dispersing money to your landlords at the end of the month. The next change, or the major change really, is about, in requirement 4, just quickly, you need to, anywhere within your Supervision Guidelines, and you're referring to the regulations. The regulation was updated, about a year ago now, but, now's a good chance to, haven't updated that in my Supervision Guidelines, get it done. So it's not the Property and Stock Agents regulation of 2014 anymore, it's the regulation of 2022. So wherever it says 2014, you're updating it to 2022, which is why that rule number changed as well within those regulations. So a requirement, your CPD requirements have changed. So in there, in Section 8, when it's about supervising the employees or supervising everyone within an agency, the licensee's responsibility around CPD changes. So that all needs to change. So take out what you've got in there about Class 1 agents needing 9 hours and Class 2 agents needing 6 hours. It's not that anymore. It's Class 1 and 2 agents needing 4 hours for every category of license that they hold. So that information you need to be putting in there as well. So that's one of the, that truly is one of the big changes. The other one is the requirement now for a licensee in charge to have a training plan that not just relates to CPD, but relates to other development activities. So any training, any development, any conferences, any webinars that you're attending, any regular coaching or mentoring activities that you are doing with your team, this goes into your training plan. Now, we're going to be talking about that in the CPD classes this year. So, we're obviously going to help you through in doing that. If you have previously purchased your pro forma of Supervision Guidelines from our college, then you will have been sent an email in the last couple of days that gives you all of the updates and where to put them into your Supervision Guidelines. Please sit down. It will take you 10, 15 minutes, absolute maximum. And then most of that time will be just tidying up how your pages look. So just making sure that you take it from the Word document that I've sent out, that you lift what the information that I've said, put it in where I've told you to put it into your Supervision Guidelines, and that's all done. Obviously, that's because you purchased our Supervision Guidelines previously, that's been sent out to everybody free of charge. Anyone who purchases our Supervision Guidelines from now onwards, or from last week onwards when we updated them, this is all obviously changed, and all the new requirements are in those guidelines. And the pro forma for the training plan is there. The procedural aspects around that are included within the Supervision Guidelines manual, and all of that's there. So that new requirement in the Supervision Guidelines, it's actually in clause 8.3, and it says a licensee in charge is also responsible for preparing and maintaining an annual training plan aligned with your CPD year. So it's obviously about the training that occurs between the 23rd of March one year and the 22nd of March the following year. And this is for all staff. This is your Class 1 and Class 2 agents. This is your assistant agents. This is your ancillary staff as well. The people who are doing all of those super important jobs, the marketing, the admin, the sales assisting, people who don't hold certificates at all. It's about how your agency works and how it is presenting information in a transparent and ethical and compliant manner to the general public. So, that training plan is all encompassing, and it is the licensee in charge's responsibility to make sure that that happens. As I said, we'll be going through that, giving you some pro formas, giving you examples about how you need to fill that in during your CPD classes this CPD year. So that's a really straightforward approach to that. So look, they're your main issues there. As I said, we've updated the CPD register so it reflects the new changes with the 4 hours and the 4 hour, the topics per license category. So it covers all of those issues, and obviously the provision of the training plan template as well. Now, Fair Trading have already provided that. That is a minimum standard, what Fair Trading have provided. The way we're looking at it is there's probably some other ways where you can actually tailor it to your organisation. You can make it fit for your Class 1 agents, for your salespeople, your property managers, your holiday letting staff, your commercial agents, your stock agents. So, whatever type, your strata managers, obviously, whatever category of license or certificate your team members hold, based on obviously what a licensee in charge holds, then that's how your training plan will develop from that point. So it's about you. What Fair Trading have given you as minimum standard, you build on that and show what you're doing to make sure that your team are, as I said, ethical and compliant. And, whilst you're doing that, you're actually looking at how to make your business more successful, which is, in the long run, you're there to make your business successful. And whether you own the business or work in the business, your job every day is your business of, making you successful, making the company that you work for successful. So that's what the training plan is, aimed to achieve here, is to go above and beyond the minimum of CPD, the 4 hours of CPD for licensed agents, and actually look at growth and development for everybody within an agency. So, we've got a bit of a thing about growth and development and training here at the Australian College. So, we think it's a great concept to be having there.